Yo, what's up, everyone? This is episode 133 of the Blrd podcast. As always, we have Green Tuner.
Hello.
Creamcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Bandito Mac.
Hello.
Dark Side.
Yo.
And the main character of the story, the Ed Underground, Bay. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Man.
Yeah, real good.
Doing well. What's up?
Yes.
Got
Yeah.
a lot of stuff going on this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. I'm streaming from Puerto Rico, for a family event, so this is kind of cool. A little weird, to be shooting for the next few weeks I'll be shooting in different locations, but I really didn't think Puerto Rico was going to be one of them. But hey, you know what? We gotta make it work. The show will go on. That just shows the dedication I have to this podcast.
Sure, no, I love it.
Yeah,
I love
even on vacation and PTO time, I'm literally, streaming the podcast live for our 3 listeners on YouTube. So
Whoa, 3 listeners.
and Twitch. Yeah. Well, you guys are the real heroes. So
We sure are.
yeah,
We
absolutely.
appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
You're holding us down right now.
Yeah, I ain't holding it down. I
Mhm.
mean, this hotel Wi-Fi is like literally the straw that might break the camel's back on this podcast. So we'll see how well it goes in the next hour and a half or so.
The
the
fucking
data cap
internet
runs
maker
out.
in Puerto Rico is struggling right now. It's like it's reaching like maximum capacity.
Like the front desk, they're like, "Holy shit!" You just see sparks coming out of their computers. So hopefully I don't bring down the Puerto Rican internet. I don't know who the provider would be, but yeah, hopefully they can stay strong for the next hour and a half. Tight 90 minutes.
For sure.
Yeah.
This
Well,
time,
yeah.
it's a 100% lock.
Locked in, tight 90.
Locked in.
Locked in, 100%. So what are...
If anyone has anything important to do, make sure that you schedule it after the 90 minutes, like directly afterwards, because it's locked in. We're gonna finish it at 90.
Yeah.
Very well.
You can
definitely schedule your
set
flight.
your clocks. Set your clocks.
You can set exactly.
Yeah, like right now I'm
You can
dropping
mark my
frames.
words.
Yeah, right now I'm dropping frames. I rarely drop frames at home. I'm already dropping frames right now. So I mean, yeah, let's get the show on the road so that we can restore the internet to Puerto Rico. They might look at this as a national disaster. So all right, so yeah,
the Blrd podcast.
yeah, the Blrd podcast, yes.
Yeah. It's been called that.
Yeah, you'll see in the hurricanes, it's like, yeah, hurricane so and so, and then there's a Blurred podcast like right underneath that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off. Unless you guys have any other cool news you guys want to share personally, let's go ahead and kick it off into the main topic.
The week has been too important to the trivial shit we already talk about. So
Yeah,
just get to it.
Let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna go straight into our review for this week, which is Deadpool and Wolverine. Obviously heavy spoilers. The movie came out last week, to a pretty healthy box office, some box office sales. Highly anticipated. This was a Marvel movie that we have been looking forward to for a very long time.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Deadpool movies have always garnered some type of major hype around them. Ranging even from the first Deadpool, we don't count X-Men Origins as one of them, but yeah, like the first actual Deadpool
part
movie.
Of the universe. It's part of the universe.
It is part of the universe.
Well, no,
and it was a good movie.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
Origins.
Origins.
We're
I don't
gonna
really
do it.
remember that one, to be honest.
Or it's the one where Professor X.
Okay, I'm not gonna go that far with you. Origins was fucking
When-
cinematic piece of dog shit.
Whoa,
It was
Yeah.
horrible.
Technically, I think it got retconned in a meta way at the end of
Yes.
Deadpool 2. Yes, so
Yeah.
I think dog shit has more
technically it's
positive values than
We're talking about
fucking-
Origins with.
Oh wait,
Origins.
is it X-Men or is Wolverine Origins? Which
Wolverine Origins.
Wolverine Origins,
No,
yeah.
I'm thinking of
no,
Days of Future
no.
Past.
It's
Whoops.
called X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh,
X-Men Origins Wolverine?
X-Men Origins
There.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to basically do all the marketing they could. They're like, you can't just have Wolverine. We need X-Men in there too.
Yeah.
Well,
X-Men
the
Wolverine.
plan for that was to do X-Men Origins Magneto after that. Then that
Oh,
became First
Lord.
Class. So I think they were
Okay.
gonna do like Gambit and a whole bunch of other, like
Yeah,
their-
well, it was a horrible.
Speaking about Gambit,
horrible.
but that's later, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. I
So-
mean,
I could talk.
Anyways,
What?
Matt?
What?
anyways. Okay. Anyways.
Anyway.
What
So
did you say?
yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
It's important, not important. So yeah, I mean, obviously, Deadpool has always been a pretty hyped series. And then this one came out, and like I said, it came out to some really solid box office sales. Deadpool always being known for its meta, fourth wall breaking jokes. I mean, I guess we can just go ahead and kick it off. My initial
Yeah.
impression of this
Yeah.
was this was a good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed Deadpool. The one thing I always liked about Deadpool is the fact that it doesn't take itself too seriously. But then at certain points it can. It can get on a serious tone and it kind of, for the most part, it can bring the whole idea of Deadpool as a character together, wrap it up in a nice bow, and then boom, you have a complete picture full with all the wisecracks and so forth. I think now Deadpool has kind of I think for the most part they had perfected this, right? I think the first Deadpool was a really great entry to that. The second one just built upon it, even more so with just how the movie went forward, and then now with this third one, it just kind of knocked it out of the park for me. Not every joke is hilarious in Deadpool. I mean, certain individuals in different movies reacted differently to certain parts of the movie that I saw. Some people thought certain parts were hilarious, while other parts it was dead ass silent in the theater. So it really kind of depends on the audience of how they will react. But overall, people in both theaters that I saw it in really loved it. They thought this was an excellent movie.
Like, how'd you like feel about like the setup and stuff? Like, I guess the setup of the plot, kind of how they kind of started that off, kicked that off, and then used the what was it called, TVA?
TVA,
guess,
Yes.
yeah, time
Yeah.
variance
Yeah.
authority.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, because you know what? Because I'm actually coming at it as someone who hasn't seen a lot of the previous Marvel films. I mean, I've seen a few, but like, I don't believe I can't really remember the first Deadpool. I think I have seen it, but I don't remember the second one, so I'm not super familiar with a lot of the like kind of the side characters and how that played in. So I'm not actually sure how much that plays in. Like it does that like are those characters coming? I'm assuming they are coming from the previous Deadpool movies, right? Like
Yes.
his family, his
Yes.
friends, and things like that. That he's trying
Yeah,
to save. Yeah,
yeah.
His family and friends, yes.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
even his
I'm sorry,
girlfriend. Yeah, even his
How'd you
girlfriend. The
feel
whole
about like?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
no, it was
But
good.
how'd you feel about like the
I
setup
loved
and all
it.
that?
Me personally, I loved it. I think that it plays off of Deadpool 1 and 2, specifically 2, really well. Deadpool 1 for Vanessa and just her relationship with Wade and how important she is to Wade, because she's literally been kind of like the linchpin of how Wade interacts with the world and how he views the world. So I thought that was really good. And the second one, you had X Force and all these different characters in it, and it really
I
didn't
was
spend a
gonna
lot of
say,
time.
I thought that one guy died.
He
All of them
did.
died. You don't remember
The
at
red
the end?
hair guy.
Yeah,
He did.
Okay.
No, they all died.
He
Yeah,
did.
you don't
So this
remember?
was from another universe or what?
No.
Well,
So in the what was the one before this Deadpool, he
Yeah.
used Cable's time watch, went back
Yeah.
and I forgot what exactly he did. He brought
Oh,
everybody back
I
to like
forgot
this.
about the.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
pretty
Okay.
much
Okay. I
he
see.
redid
Okay.
history. He went back in time, redid history, so they all survived.
Yeah.
That was at the very end of Deadpool 2, and there was a montage where he was like, he saves Vanessa from getting killed, which was the whole reason why Deadpool 2 even happened in the first place, was because Vanessa getting killed. So he saves Vanessa, and after he saves Vanessa, he goes through and saves all of X-Force.
Oh yeah, I
From
remember. And
from
then he kills himself, right, for accepting the Green Lantern movie.
Yes, he kills. Yeah, he
Yeah, I
he kills
remember.
Ryan Reynolds for accepting it, and
Yeah.
kills the original Deadpool
That's
from
hilarious.
X-Men Origins
Yeah.
Wolverine. So
Mhm.
no, I thought this was a
Don't worry
great.
about
Ed's
the suit.
favorite movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
I
this was a
Sorry,
great
hated
go ahead.
homage. I thought it was a great
Mhm.
homage to it. But I'm kind of interested. Really quick. I know, maybe you asked us, but I want to flip it back to you. For somebody who is not familiar with a lot of the Marvel stuff, I don't know if you've seen Loki seasons 1 and 2, and so
Mhm.
forth. How did
I
you
haven't.
feel? And then not seeing Deadpool like the original two Deadpools.
Right.
How did you feel going into Deadpool 3? Do you feel like they did enough to kind of tell you where this journey started from and why he's doing the things that he's doing?
Not really, I feel like. I didn't. I mean, I understood kind of like the general premise of, these are his friends and he wants to save them. That's pretty much all I got. And then he used to be in love with Vanessa. But like it kind of brushed over it. But I wasn't really upset about that. I mean, just because I feel like they and they kind of touch upon it like in a cheeky way, right? How he kind of points out, like, oh, this sort of MacGuffin thing, or we're using this as a plot device to kind of move this forward,
Right.
But um, yeah, it didn't do much, but I don't want to say that like in a negative way, I guess, because like it wasn't as necessary to understand for the story for me to keep going.
Sure.
So yeah,
Okay,
but
that's good. Yeah, I always want to see. I was kind of curious about that. Like, how did people who
yeah,
did not watch Deadpool, like Deadpool didn't do a whole lot of exposition to a point where they wasted a lot of time. I feel like they kind of
right,
get to like these people are important to me. I love Vanessa, and this is where we're at. All right,
yeah, got it.
commence the killing.
Yeah,
Um,
right. It
so
definitely seemed like they very much knew, hey, you're here to see some action. Here are a bunch of action sequences and a bunch of characters that you like, right?
right,
Um, yeah, because again, like I'm like, 'cause I'm still not knocking it, I feel, but there wasn't a lot. Didn't do a lot to make me excited about more Marvel movies. Like I'm not interested to go back and see, oh, what happened here. But I mean, I thought like some certain characters were cool. Like definitely like when we get to the Xavier chick, I forget her name now.
Cassie, no,
The twin.
Cassandra.
Cassandra Nova.
Cassandra
Yeah.
Nova.
Cassandra
Nova.
Nova. Yeah. Like that. I thought all her stuff was amazing. But yeah, I don't know. Like I guess just overall, I'm not like super jazzed about as jazzed about Deadpool. I guess as most
Well,
others would be.
let me ask you this: have you seen the previous Deadpool movies?
No.
Okay,
I mean, I
so
don't think so. I don't remember them.
so I forgot I forgot her name. Deadpool's ex. I
Vanessa.
forgot that he was actually Vanessa. I forgot he was a stripper, and I can see coming from a
She was a lot more than a stripper.
well,
Yeah.
but this is what I'm saying. Like I can see coming from a perspective of someone who has not seen Deadpool
Mhm.
previously, and then watches this. I would have not known that she was a stripper and so on. I would have just thought, oh, just
Yeah, I
random
mean,
X.
it didn't even matter though, like that she was a stripper.
Yeah,
Like I
that
think
that
that
that that was not
No,
important
it
to
never
the
came up.
story whatsoever.
Yeah,
that was not important.
It
Basically,
wasn't, but you can
if you
tell that there is
follow,
history there.
I
yeah,
know,
for
but
sure.
that
Yeah.
I think what it's trying to say is if you follow the journey of like Deadpool from the last two
Mhm.
movies, you can kind of appreciate this movie a little more.
Oh yeah,
Well,
For the reason of
100%.
like that that whole insult of when fucking Wolverine is
Yeah.
just laying it out and calling him basically the whole reason why Deadpool even exists, a stripper,
Right.
and just demeaning her and everything just sent them
Yeah.
over the edge.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
could
I think
see
you would
that.
for sure you would appreciate this movie much more if you had previous to,
Mm-hmm.
especially because the last one was so fucking good too, and it keeps little by little establishing that it's going on a very like uh fantastic like offshoot. It's not gonna go in like the dramatic, whatever. And little by little, it's been getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Because I don't even think the first one was that crazy compared as to what's happening on this one. So it just
No.
keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
But I thought it was pretty damn cool.
You know what?
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I think not even knowing because of Deadpool, I think you would have to know about the previous Wolverine movies, or at least the Logan movie,
Yeah.
because
That I
going
did.
into this, what's that?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that I did see. I have seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. I'm just thinking also
Yeah.
from a perspective of a person who
Mhm.
has not seen Logan, Old Man Logan, and you jump into the Deadpool and you're wondering why. Oh wait, Logan's dead.
Bendito, have you seen Logan? You've seen Logan,
I've
right?
seen Logan. I'm just saying from perspective of
No, I'm talking to Bendito.
oh
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like, I had seen Logan.
Oh,
But yeah, he was just saying just for
yeah.
someone
I
who
was gonna
hadn't seen
say
it.
because that said,
Yeah.
yeah, he's seen Logan, man.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
he was
I
saying.
I
Go ahead,
went to
say it.
my girlfriend. I don't think she's seen Logan, so she's seen
You confused
cameos of
Bendito
someone
with your
else.
girlfriend.
So wait, what?
You confused Bendito with your girlfriend.
No, I said I went to go see this movie with my girlfriend, and I don't think
Yeah,
she's
it
seen
happens.
Logan. I didn't
Yeah.
ask her, but I don't think she's seen it. But I'm
But
just
yeah.
saying from a person of her perspective who may not see as many Marvel movies that we see,
Mhm.
maybe can confuse like what's going on. Like,
Right. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
like he was saying, I don't think they did a bad job, or I don't think it was that confusing. At least there were definitely some. I feel like there are obviously some references I could miss.
Yeah, even
But
they point it out, don't they? At one point, where they're like, "Hey, I am sorry, I have to give this exposition for people that haven't seen the previous two movies or something." They even
Yeah.
yeah.
pointed out like it's not a hard movie to follow, just in order to appreciate it.
Mhm.
To the level, at least that I appreciated it. Speaking
oh, I
for
did too.
myself,
Yeah.
um, watching the last two movies helped a lot to appreciate this one even more. But
Mhm.
I don't think the plot, anyone, even if you hadn't seen the last two, would be
Yeah.
lost if they saw this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
This
I
okay.
wouldn't
This
like recommend someone not see it because they haven't seen the other
Yeah,
ones for
this
sure.
wasn't a movie that this wasn't a movie like the deepest storyline where you got
Right.
Martin Scorsese Fick and you got
Uh,
it's like it's really deep and so forth. I mean, no, this is not it, but still
yeah.
yeah, no, there's a level of appreciation for the story, but that's just from any type of movie. I mean, we're watching, this is literally the trilogy. So, the end of the trilogy. So, this is a movie that obviously it has many hours in front of it from other X-Men movies and then now this Fantastic Four and so forth references that if you don't watch the movies, then you will be like, why are people making such a big deal about it? Like the biggest
You
one,
didn't grow up watching the Fox movies,
yeah, the Fox
because
movies,
this
yeah,
Yeah.
literally was like a giant love
homage,
letter to
yeah,
Yeah.
all of the Fox
Which,
movies, which
what?
I found it touching. Even the shitty ones, I was like
Mhm.
fondly
Yes,
remembering the shitty movies. I'm like, it's kind of warming, even though I hated those damn movies when I was watching them.
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
No,
but
think
yeah,
it's funny
it is
too,
definitely
right?
like a love
Like
letter to all of the Fox things.
so again, right? So
Fantastic
then
Four.
so as I haven't seen the other Marvel ones, like I have seen so many of the Fox ones, right? Like loved the
Yeah.
first two Blade movies back in the day and shit. So like all of that stuff popping up,
Oh, oh my,
that was
oh,
amazing.
Those
I'm like,
those
dude,
oh
warmed my
shit.
heart.
there was an audible fucking
Yeah,
A
noise of pure
gasp.
orgasm in the theater
yeah,
when I saw that fucking
right.
when I saw
And it's
Snipes go. I'm
funny
like, ah.
because at
Yes.
first I was thinking like, oh, you know what? I wouldn't care if someone spoiled some cameos because I'm like, I hadn't seen whatever.
Yeah.
But I was so happy that I got to witness that unspoiled. Like that was
Yeah.
Same
just a
here.
great
Same
moment.
here. Unspoiled. It was
That
so
was
beautiful.
amazing. So like when we
Holy
first saw
shit.
that, I didn't know about that cameo, and my girlfriend has seen Blade.
Mhm.
So when we saw that pop up, when we saw him pop up, we
Yeah.
both like leaned over to our seats and like said, "No!"
Yeah.
Like
So
the
when you
whole audience,
so when you
the
saw
whole
that pop
audience, like,
so when you saw that pop up, uh, so did something else pop up it? Were you just like,
of
uh,
course, of
uh,
course,
yeah, no,
of course
I
it
There's a
did.
popcorn box.
yeah, popcorn.
Kristen booty hole popped up.
No,
Of course it did.
that was in a digital age where everybody wants to be the first to put something out there. They want to be the first to spoil it. There's of course the internet trolls out there like the dark sides who would be like, "Screw you
Yeah.
mortals! I'm gonna put out
Yeah.
something."
Spoilers for everybody.
Yeah, spoiler.
Hey,
Everybody gets a spoiler.
Dark Side's that one guy that walks out the theater and walks past the people in line that's about to go see the same movie that he just did and says, "I can't believe I just saw Blade in the movie. Man, that is so
Yeah,
awesome,
so,
Deadpool." Like,
and then
oh,
can
Oh
you
my god.
believe Snipes?
can you believe
You're
Snipes
like,
is
yeah,
back?
yeah.
Darkseid just comes out of the theater. He's like, always bet on black, and he just walks away.
Yeah,
People are
he's
like, what
like,
the fuck?
he just goes up to the random person and be like, "Some motherfuckers always trying to skate up uphill.
And just
I
wearing
skate
a Blade
uphill."
t-shirt and just like, "Hey, Blade,
I stood up.
yeah."
Yeah, no, that was amazing. Because
Yes.
I know for Deadpool, very I was very careful about being on the internet. And luckily I've had a lot of distractions in the last few weeks where I wasn't like living on the internet and on Reddit and being able to see things and even the day of the movie. It's just I wasn't
Cream.
yeah, I was just staying out. I was just staying
Your
away.
boy.
Who?
Your boy. He just popped in my head.
Who?
Alternate universe. Henry Cavill.
Oh
Wolverine.
my
Oh,
god.
that
How
was
fucking
Oh
nuts
wow.
was
yeah.
that? How
Yeah.
fucking nuts was that?
Guys, I'm not
Wow.
gonna lie. I nobody else cared but me.
Oh,
I
I
was in the
care.
theater. I was in
Yeah.
my theater. Everybody was just like, "Okay, who the fuck is that?" I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
That's
"Is
Henry
so hilarious.
Cavill.
Yeah.
Daddy Cavill." I was like, "Holy shit!" That
Yeah.
was awesome. The fact that we got to see that,
Mhm.
even as a
I would
joke,
have never imagined that in my wildest dreams. Even as
Yeah.
a joke,
I would
that
never
happen.
saw that. Never thought that.
Never.
yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
really funny.
they checked off all the boxes. Now, I'm kind of curious. I want to hear from Darkseid because he is the true comic book nerd out of all of us.
He's way
Um,
too quiet, which worries me.
yeah, where
Well,
I
Tom,
feel like
Did you see it?
He's
oh,
about to probably
on.
tell all of them.
yeah, he's about to
Let's
he's
hear it,
about
Dark.
to he's about to knowledge dump on all of us.
Did you
Oh
see the
Mhm.
god.
movie?
He's about to actually us.
Yeah, right.
Man,
Like
Yeah.
actually,
Uh-huh.
I
I
mean,
want you to
not
point out
only
every Easter egg, all right? Go ahead.
yeah,
Mhm.
he
yeah,
was probably
yeah,
sitting there, not even
Uh,
enjoying the movie, just taking Easter egg
he breaks
notes.
out a fucking
Yeah.
chart with like red string tying all the scenes together.
Yeah,
You know, there were a couple of scenes right in the beginning. Yeah, there were during the montage where he's going through all the Wolverines. There were
yes.
some
Oh,
choice cuts where I'm like, if
Comic
I
book
knew this
accurate
comic book
Wolverine.
knowledge, yeah, I'm like, if I knew this knowledge, this would be so cool. But I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't know
that's
what's
why
going on here.
I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking
Yeah.
the same thing, and
Hmm.
some of the cuts I understood, but I was like, I don't have a
Right.
true appreciation, and I was like, I kind of
Yeah.
wish.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wish that Darkseid was there watching it with me,
Dark
so
side.
like
Yeah, me
afterwards we could
too. I
talk
was like,
about it.
fuck, I wish I had
Yeah,
Dark side
I
next to
promise you
me.
that was literally going through my mind. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, if he was here,
Through
he could
everybody's
explain
mind,
it.
I think. You know
Right.
what?
Yeah,
Just specifically, the Wolverine with the red skulls. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
so fucking
It's
lost. I don't
crucified him.
so
Yeah.
remember this.
I forgot
Yeah, and I'm
that
like,
comic
God damn
book,
it! If I
but
just had Darkseid here to explain to me what the fuck's going
yeah.
on,
All right,
because
guys,
I
guys.
recognize the '90s one, the fucking feral one with the big fucking hair and the giant body and everything.
Yeah.
with
But the other one, I was like, this is so cool.
Okay,
the
guys,
other
but
one I didn't know was the short one. Is that an actual thing or just like a
Oh no.
hey, we
No,
want
that's just
short
making
wing?
fun of the fact that
Okay,
in
that'll
real,
be the
his
like,
comic
actual height.
accurate.
yeah, his real
okay,
height's like
Oh,
actual.
four,
actual
like
height.
410. All right,
Yeah,
guys,
Okay.
everybody,
That
shut the
might have been an
Yeah.
accurate a comic accurate
right,
Wolverine, a
Wolverine.
little short one.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
right, guys, everybody, shut the fuck up now. Let's let
Some fuck
Please.
Daddy Darkseid talk, because he's
Please.
about to drop
Mhm.
some fucking truth bombs. Darkseid, take it over.
The double D over here.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, I like the movie. It had a lot of good references.
Mhm.
I would say that this movie is, I think we were talking about last week. I think Ed brought up Doctor Strange and you need to see like Vision to kind of understand it, and I was like, nah, you really. They kind of summed it up. This
No.
movie is the opposite of that. I would agree with
Yeah.
like you do not only need to have a good sense of Marvel history to even understand some of the in jokes, like references to like he insulted Phase 4. He's talked about Disney like
Yeah.
several. You need to know a lot of what currently the state of Marvel is, and also know like you guys said the 20th Century Fox films. Like to have that knowledge. Like if you went in there with no reference to any of that,
Mhm.
I don't know
Yeah.
what this movie would be for you. So this is the most
I mean, you can still
referential
follow it
meta.
though,
It's
Yeah,
still
you can
even if you
followable.
follow
don't
it,
know.
but
Yeah, but no, I
it
feel like he's saying
loses
like
a lot.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
definitely don't have an appreciation where I'm like, because when I came out of it, I'm like all right, it was all right. You know what I mean? Just
Mm.
because.
Here's the thing. I don't think anyone exists who I'm describing who doesn't have some sense of understanding of these movies. We've reached a point where what is this, the 36th Marvel movie? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're not going to this. This is no one's. I guess it could be
Yeah.
someone's first Marvel movie. God help that person if this is someone's first Marvel
Oh
movie.
yeah, that's
But
horrible.
yeah, that is
Yeah,
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah. This would be
So
it
a
would
I would
definitely
horrible first
be.
Marvel movie. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Would
would
be
think
so
someone would
lost.
have. I mean, here's the thing: we're old as hell. Like all of us here, we're older people. We were just joking about this before the podcast. There are children who were born and are reaching adulthood, and they were born when Iron Man 1 came. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
don't even know
there's
Blade
whole
original trilogy
there's
Yeah, I
exists.
don't
swaths
So.
of
know
people
that.
exactly that don't know any of the Fox
Mhm.
movies. They
Or
just know the
Elektra,
Marvel
or
movies. I
even
mean the Disney
the
movies.
even the whole
Yeah,
story with Gambit, like
yeah,
with
Yeah.
what's his name
That
playing
does,
Gambit.
yeah. That
with
took
Yeah,
some
Channing
knowledge. That
Tatum.
took
Yeah,
some like
Yeah.
background knowledge. Because like see, even I
yeah.
knew that
See,
one where it's like
yeah.
I didn't know enough of the movies, but like I guess I'm adjacent enough to the news where I'm like I got all those references where it's like, he's like, oh, I must have been born here, right? Because his movie just never got off the ground. Stuff
Mhm.
like
Right.
that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of like jokes to him being able to do the accent. That was a lot of like
Yeah.
lines
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
where he couldn't
that,
nail it
Yes.
down.
that was
Yeah.
a lot of like real world debates happening when that movie was in work about like
Yeah.
Channing Tatum being able to carry
Mhm.
the role and can he do a Cajun
Mm.
accent. One of the
Get
best
that
lines in this
delicious
movie
Cajun accent.
is who's your vocal coach of Minion? Like that was the
Yeah.
one that I lost it. That was the biggest audible laugh I. It felt improvised, so I really like that. But yeah, this movie super meta, super self-referential to the point where I liked it, but I did not love this movie, and I think that we could talk about it as we get into it. I think the self-referential isms in this movie, I think brought it down a little for me, even though I knew the direction of this film. I knew where it was going. I knew what the intention was. There's no like I'm not surprised by anything here. But I think that now having it in my hand after like, preparing to digest this film for 2 years, I think we are reaching critical mass really in the like talk about the bubble bursting or the MCU and so on and so forth. We're going to talk about some big news afterwards, and that'll tie into this. We're reaching literally the. I don't know how much more original material. I'm a comic book fan, so like I have like
Mhm.
there's tons of stories they can tell, but I'm like
Mhm.
I haven't been genuinely exhausted with like
Mhm.
with Marvel movies. Like I could give where people are getting exhausted. This is the first time I felt a little exhausted with what I was watching, and I don't know like
wow.
yeah, I don't know if that's uh, it's not a good thing because it definitely felt like
Mhm.
um too much of a good. So many
Mhm.
like indulgent things in this movie where like I said, I'm glad they did it because I wanted them to do it. Like The
Mhm.
only like we're short of him like coming through and like I was expecting him to walk up to Kevin Feige and have an argument with him. You know, at one point,
Yeah.
Same.
I was expecting it to get even more referential. The one thing I think
Uh, wait,
Oh,
are we
this
all
movie
still here?
disappointed me in is it
oh, there
doesn't.
we go.
Oh, oh yeah, I think.
No, keep going. It's fine.
You on?
I think I was disappointed by um, it doesn't open any doors for me for the MCU. It
Mm.
takes us to a place and it saves. I believe he saved the
Uh,
Oh, oh.
20th
Like,
Century
well,
Fox universe. Yeah, no.
We did, yeah.
This
no,
is
you're good. Yeah,
psyops.
you're good. You're good.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
think
hear you.
I'm. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
You sound
Yeah, but yeah, what I was saying is it didn't really open the door for MCU, like the future of the MCU that I wanted it to, and it went to a good place. And like if this is the last time we see Deadpool, which won't be, I will be perfectly satisfied. It felt like a good end for his universe and himself,
Yeah.
Well,
right?
no,
I
This
don't,
I was
but
gonna
I
say
this
don't
that
need
is
I don't
this
think they were
anymore.
trying to open doors. I think they were
yeah, I
trying to
don't
like
think they
close the
were.
book
well.
on the three movies.
Well, Ryan
Yeah,
Yeah,
Reynolds
but this
has.
movie is. I was gonna say real quick. This movie is supposed to be like the Messiah for the MCU, like Marvel Jesus. Like he talks. This is supposed to save the MCU, and I didn't really see a lot of MCU. Like I mean, I saw MCU. You know what I mean? It didn't really. It was more
Mhm.
Fox, and I get it, and I like that it was the tribute to the Fox universe, but it didn't open the door that I wanted it to open to for him to cross. He kind of like went sideways into the 20th Century Fox universe, and
I
so
I.
maybe I think it was more bringing in the X-Men into like finding a way to bring them
did they do that? Did they do
into the
that?
Yes,
Marvel.
I think they 100% did that because in the past they've tiptoed around the word mutant, right? I remember what
Yeah.
was it in what's what Miss Marvel, right? With Miss Marvel, they said the word mutant for the first time at the end of Miss Marvel, and everybody was losing their shit. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, they said the word mutant." This one, they're just really just kind of opened up Pandora's box, and they're
Marvel.
really
Remember the post credit scene for Marvels where we saw Beast. So like I mean like they have that door open. I feel
But no,
from
but the thing you question you ask is, did
mm,
Deadpool bring in, did Deadpool bring in the
mhm.
mutants? Like, but does it bring in the mutants at a bigger scale? And I will say yes, they 100% did bring in mutants a lot more than
Specifically like the X-Men, the core X-Men,
the
not
core X-Men.
the
Yeah,
like Colossus and no, the big guy.
yeah,
By bringing in the biggest of the guys,
Well,
which is Wolverine.
some would say Beast is part of that core X-Men now.
yeah. But what
I
I'm saying is that, but the thing
Yeah,
is
but
I mean,
in previous ones they referenced the X-Men as in like, hey, we know there are mutants, wink wink, out there.
mm,
This one they were like, all right, mutants exist. They're part of the universe. They are, they are in other multiverses at this point, and now they're coming into different multiverses, and they're spreading around. As
Yeah,
before, it
yeah,
was
that's
kind of like,
fine.
this Wolverine is from a
What
different universe,
yeah,
and he
what I'm
happens to be
saying
from the X-Men. So,
yeah, what I was saying is like yeah, all of that is true, but for the state of the X-Men that we will get in let's say Secret War, this does not bridge any gap there, right? The idea that there are multiple X-Men and mutants, that's not a new concept. I knew that one. When I say a door opening, I wanted a door to open to what will be that, that reality that we will finally see our Avengers meet
right,
that
yes,
group.
so you
That
wanted
door
like
was not open.
you want the
you
X-Men to
want it
literally
like
pop
that,
up in the 616
yeah.
and
Nope,
be like,
nope. I just wanted no. I
Like, hey,
wanted.
here we are.
I yeah. No. I don't want all of that. It's way too early for that. But like,
Is it though?
well, at the end of this movie, unless I'm missing something, he is pretty much still within his universe, right? And he saved his
yes.
Mhm.
universe. So like, you know what I mean? I did not get that universe crossing moment into the 616 that I wanted. So
But you did get that Wolverine into Deadpool's universe. So we now know that it is possible. Like we kind of already knew it. I mean, you just put two and two together. But now we know that mutants can cross into other multiverses. So we have Wolverine from his multiverse, pretty much doomed, coming to Deadpool's. Now he's a fixture in that one. That there
But did
are
we not? Did we not know that though that they could
no,
do
we
that?
already knew that. We already knew that. We already knew that. That's what I'm saying. Like honestly, like if you put two and two together from Miss Marvel to this, and then even from Captain Marvel, the last Captain Marvel movie, you saw that that is possible. Where Monica Rambeau goes into the other multiverse and so forth, where she meets Beast and whatnot. So we are already aware of this, but I think that for like let's be honest. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. A lot of people didn't like the Miss Marvel. A lot of people didn't see, or not Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
Really?
don't
No.
say it so.
no.
No
So
way.
outside of like the hardcore MCU fans or the MCU fans who just skipped this, a lot of people didn't
Or
see that.
us
Now,
who had to watch it for the review.
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people who watched it. I mean, obviously the spoiler got out, right? About Hank McCoy being there and whatnot. But this is, I think, just another way to solidify that the X-Men are coming. And I think this is also, and while it may be something, as you said before, it didn't necessarily open the door 1,010%. This is still something that is now becoming a reality with Deadpool really shitting on the fact that Marvel has left 20th Century Fox. And that pretty much that entire timeline of X-Men movies or Marvel movies is dead. I mean, not dead in the sense of,
It's
like
done.
it's done. So now Marvel, like Disney is taking it over now. And I think that's the kind of the cool thing about Deadpool is that it's kind of a newsletter to the fans. Like, hey, 20th Century Fox is dead.
Like a love letter.
Yeah, it's a love letter. Yeah, it's like 20th Century. Well, I wouldn't say it's a love letter because at the end of the day, I mean, some of those movies are really great, right? Like some of the best X-Men movies, or actually the only X-Men movies, but some of the best Marvel movies came out of Fox. So it's not necessary. I don't want to necessarily call it a love letter, but I think it's more, like I said, I would say it's a notice. Like, hey, Fox is dead. All that's dead. It's Marvel's turn now. Let's let's fucking go. But I think that with Deadpool, honestly, I think I saw in an interview with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds had said uh, that Disney wanted to kind of kill Deadpool at this point. That this is like kind of like the third and last movie for Deadpool, which makes kind of sense. It was a nice little bow at the end. Deadpool got everything that he wanted. We got mutants being brought in, Wolverine, all this stuff. This is kind of like, hey, this is the final go around for Deadpool, which I would be happy with, honestly, if
From a
that
joke
occurs.
that started in the first movie.
Yeah, it was a joke. This is a joke
It was a
concept.
joke. This was never meant to happen, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it finally came to fruition. It's insane.
Well, I mean, a lot of reports are coming out. Like Deadpool, even the first movie wasn't even supposed to happen, and it was underfunded. And how Ryan Reynolds took pay cuts so that writers got more money to one write Deadpool. And I think even the second one that was in the time of the writer's strike. So
Yeah,
this
they're
is
always fucking trying to like
He
tie
funded
their.
the first movie.
oh, it was the first
He
movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
funded the first
yeah.
movie.
So that's the
Oh, he
thing.
funded the first one. Wow.
So that's the thing. It's like it's one of those things. It's like I think Deadpool as a movie is absolutely um, a unicorn of movies, right? Especially in the Marvel universe. We don't really get the those kind of fantasy films. Like who would have thought? Let's think about this. 10 years ago,
And a
we
rated
would get
R.
a
Rated
rated
R.
R Deadpool with
The
Wolverine.
opening, like they pretty much like stated how much of a rated R movie is because it opens on him just chopping people up and throwing limbs and stuff.
F-bombs.
Yeah, we've never even with
F-bombs.
even with Logan, right? Logan was so rated R and it was violent, but who would have thought we would ever got a movie with our beloved Wolverine literally slicing people off, cutting off heads and so forth, and then getting
Right.
him with a movie with another person with the same healing factor as him, and just going and ripping each other to shreds. This is. This
Yeah.
is this is an amazing film in of itself because it's a unicorn within the Marvel universe. So, like I said, this is why I think this is a notice. I think this is as the final probably dead film will receive. You never know; things never die with Marvel. But as the final Deadpool film
Isn't
that
it
we
making
receive,
like a ton of money though?
Oh yeah, it has to be.
They said the
y-
Yeah,
box
for
office
sure.
records are pretty crazy. So
It's
who
in
yeah,
knows
it's
if
really
that will
just
be enough for Disney to be like,
it's in the top,
you know
I
what I mean?
think 5 or top 10 of the best, lack of a better word, best box office opening ever.
well,
Top
I can
5 or
believe
top
it.
10.
This is a hype film. But what I'm saying is that
For an R-rated film.
yeah,
For an R-rated
Oh,
film.
for an
Yeah.
R-rated. Okay.
yeah.
It's breaking
So
records for an R-rated film. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is so it's great. I just think I don't know if this movie will warrant a fourth movie, but I think this was as far as if this is the final trilogy of Deadpool, I think this was a great way to go out, right? From
I'd
As
be happy, yeah, if this. I mean, I'd be happy if there were more, but if this was it, then yeah, I'd be just as
yeah,
happy.
as much as I love this movie, I don't think we need a fourth one. I think this is like the final movie, and I think it's a love letter to the fans because every cameo that hit was from the Fox universe. The majority of cameos that came out was from the Fox universe, or even that didn't necessarily happen yet, but with Gambit, and we
Uh,
saw Elektra, Gambit, Blade,
uh, played, yeah.
Sabretooth. Uh,
Sabretooth, that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
yeah,
same actor
The
too.
Mad Max
Yeah.
rejects.
Yeah, the Mad Max Rejects. Oh,
They had
not Gambit. What's his name?
the fucking S and
The best,
M Juggernaut.
Electro,
Juggernaut.
yeah,
yeah, they
yeah.
have
The best,
Although
Electro,
it wasn't
Uh,
the same actor that played Juggernaut, it was the same costume designer that played Juggernaut.
Toad
mhm.
was
Um,
I think
Toad
Toad was
was
the
in
same
there.
Toad,
Toad was
yeah.
the same
Yeah,
actor.
Toad.
What did you guys,
The Human Torch.
what did you
They
guys
also
think
had
of
the
the,
Russian, which I didn't know until I'm like, oh yeah, it's the Russian because they didn't get Kevin Nash to reprise his role.
That would have been
Yeah.
great.
Oh, what was you saying, Dark
But
Side?
Kevin Nash's knees probably didn't take it, so
Yeah.
what did you
that's a
think of
wrestling reference.
the Human Torch? Yeah, Ed brought it up. What did you think about the Human Torch of the
That was
fake,
hilarious.
the
That
fake
was
out?
hilarious because
I
we
thought,
all
Yeah,
thought it was
Yeah.
Captain
because I'm like
America.
Captain
Well, they
America,
had
and
the
I'm like,
No
colors.
way.
this doesn't
They
make
had the
sense.
red. They
Right.
had the red, the blue.
they had the
Of
red
course,
on
yeah, the
there.
blue,
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything said Captain America.
yeah.
and he
Even
says
like the hairstyle and everything had Captain America.
Mm.
yeah, and every Deadpool movie he does point out how fake the 3-point landing of superhero movies are. This
Yeah.
is the this is the one time where he was like perfect landing. It was like he was creaming himself over the moment, and
Yeah.
I love that when he says "flame on" and he flies up into the air. And
It's like no way.
And there was like, fuck.
Deadpool's reaction
Yeah.
was great. Did you guys, by the way, did you guys stay and watch the mid and end credits?
Of course.
Wait, there was two?
There was two.
Yeah,
Oh, I
those aren't
just
the
thought there
end.
was
Hey,
one. I
you
fucked up.
guys,
The
you guys are
last
kidding.
one is probably the
I
best
saw
one
It's
I've
the
seen.
best. It's the best
It
end
is the
credit
funniest
scene
one. Yeah, it's
I've ever
really good.
seen.
I would have to
Break it
disagree.
down. Break it down for
It
him.
What
it
is in?
The
uh
Go ahead.
okay what
The Human
okay
Torch.
so yeah, the scene where Deadpool basically when he's talking to Cassandra Nova and he says like, oh, Human Torch said all these things, and he rattles off like a
Yeah.
series of horrible things, like
Yeah.
ludicrous things, where you're like, as the viewer, you're like, oh, come on, Deadpool just being Deadpool. At the end of the movie, Deadpool proves to the audience that
Chris
he
Evans.
in a hidden camera, Chris Evans did say all those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And
And even more.
I love the angle of that and even more messed up stuff. And I
Yeah,
love
more. Yeah.
the angle of the
I
camera.
did
where
watch that.
Deadpool
I thought there was
looking
something
back up.
apart from that. So I was
No,
like,
No,
oh
no.
shit.
no, that was
So
it.
no, I
was
did
it.
see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the that was the after
Post-credit.
credits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
post credits. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't think
I didn't like
there was
that.
a mid. I don't
The
think there was a mid credits.
No, there was
The mid credit was the
like
B
the
roll.
montage.
Yeah, the
The
montage.
B-roll. It was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
montage of all the
yeah,
movies.
the
I'll be
love
honest,
letter part of it.
I
I
thought the
love
end
that
credit was
part.
gonna be just for randomly, just to
Mhm.
fuck with everyone, having Thor crying over Deadpool. Remember,
I
because it was
thought
such
so
a
too.
random scene.
Yeah,
I thought they
yeah.
were just gonna show that, explain it, and be like, "What the fuck?" But
Right.
this was pretty good too. Yeah.
You know what? That could be one of the gateways or whatever to
Yeah, there you
Marvel.
go.
I mean,
It
I don't think
could.
we'll get a new
I think
Deadpool, but
that scene though, where that scene where Deadpool is superimposed over Loki though,
Yeah.
that's a scene from Thor 2. So the idea is that somehow in some way he swaps places with I don't know what they were
He
trying
was
to imply with
superimposing a
that.
bunch of scenes, wasn't he? When they
but
were like doing different
Yeah, I
things.
think so.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
no,
I thought it was like here's what the universe where you were a part of it or something like that.
Yeah, it could have
Yeah,
been.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When
Exactly.
you were,
Yeah.
yeah,
well,
when you mattered.
I do have
Yeah.
a theory though. I don't think we'll get a new Deadpool, but I do
Mm,
think that could be something from Secret Wars.
Mm.
It's possible.
possibly.
I mean, that's possible.
I
Mm.
well, I like I said, talking about Deadpool, the future of the character. I hope that we don't see any. I doubt it, but I hope we don't see any more Deadpool movies. And I think I am a minority in saying this, but I'm reaching the end of my tolerance of the Ryan Reynolds shtick. It was really good. I think I've reached. I don't think I could take any more
You're
of it.
at peak.
No
No,
more
he's at
shtick.
critical
Part
mass.
critical
Critical
mass.
mass.
Mm.
Part to this movie, I was like, it's funny, I get it, and I would have laughed like crazy 2 movies ago, but it's just the same reference. He's just for me, he was not as funny in this movie than he was in the
Mm.
first one. In the first one, he was hilarious, and in the
First one
second
is
one,
hilarious, yes.
yeah, it was yeah.
First
I
one,
like
yeah.
the second one,
Well,
but this one, I think I'm just too used to
yeah,
him.
it's not fresh. It's not fresh anymore.
Yeah.
And
That's right, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds,
That's why I don't want another. I think it wouldn't work.
yeah, the Ryan Reynolds shtick, as you said, um, this is not Deadpool is not unique to Ryan Reynolds, right? If this was a situation where Ryan Reynolds only acted this way in Deadpool, then I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, we love this a lot more. But now you're seeing this in every Ryan Reynolds movie, from Free
Every Ryan
Guys.
Reynolds thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Free Guys. There's the movie that he has on Netflix. He's always making wisecrack jokes and not necessarily breaking fourth wall, but he's always kind of like self-referencing and so forth. So, yeah, it does get old, and I
I think
can.
he's always been like that though.
He has always been like that, even from the
Because even
original
from
Deadpool.
Van Wilder, he still had that same kind of comedy.
Yeah,
Well,
like
that's,
that's the issue.
Yeah, it's his
yeah,
comedy.
that's his
Yeah,
comedy.
it's just
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that, I mean, as the final one, this would be a great one for him to bow out in for sure, because and just kind of retire Deadpool, because yeah, it does get old after a while. And there are Deadpools out there that are a little bit more serious. And he can have a little bit more, can have some more, he can still joke, but has a little bit more serious as far um as moving around, or like he can be a lot more serious about what's going on. So, I mean,
Mhm.
can we get that in the future? Yes. Would that be kind of a huge departure from what we get for Deadpool in total? I mean,
Yeah.
I think you probably people are like how we feel about it may not be what the public feels. So if we got a more
Mhm.
serious Deadpool with a little bit less jokes and a little bit more serious tone,
Yeah,
it might flop.
I don't want
So
that.
you can see another actor playing Wolverine. I could see that
I
Yeah,
can
like a
see
with
that.
reboot.
very high
They're gonna
likelihood.
Hellboy this. Come on.
Yeah, sure. You can see
This is gonna get
another
Hellboy.
actor. Yeah, you can see another actor playing Wolverine or Cyclops or any of these other characters, but I can't see an Deadpool. Of course, it's going to do this. Um, I can't see another actor playing Deadpool because it's just a unique type of comedy, right? And it is
yes.
spot on. He's spot on to the comic book character. He's
Yeah,
perfect.
very, yeah, very comic
So
book accurate.
Even the dancing
any
is just perfect.
anyone who comes in after him would just be doing an impression of him.
Ryan
You know what I
Reynolds.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so specific. It with Wolverine, you could do another take on Wolverine. You could do another take on Wolverine. He's got some layers. Deadpool doesn't have a lot of layers as much as you think. He's pretty much this in
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
cases. You know what I
I
mean?
was thinking like
Um,
he would be
Well,
good maybe in as like a side character in movies versus holding his own film, like maybe just
Yeah,
showing up as like
the
a
comic relief.
comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is probably the strongest that it'll ever be, and Deadpool has never been just comic book wise. He's never been like meant. I,
Yeah. Actually,
even
I've heard
his
that a lot
design,
too.
I think, was accidental or just incidental from Liefeld. I don't think Liefeld was really like, pouring his heart and soul into it. And it just happened to hit the right writers who give it the right amount of comedy, and people love Deadpool. But
Yeah,
it's
You guys see
not.
that Liefeld?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
book?
there's nothing. Like I
Deadpool.
remember owning. I don't know where I left it, but I owned the first like Deadpool issue, and even the first Deadpool issue was like, is the big guy that we're going with. It wasn't something that was like naturally like a character that just naturally found an audience. But somehow they made it work with these movies. But yeah, aside from this, there's not much like source material. Like, what are you gonna do? The Alpha Flight?
Well,
What?
the thing
Yeah.
in the comic books, Deadpool is still a member. Like he's a member of X Force. He's a member of like he's currently in the current right now. To literally
Mm.
today, X Force 1 was released in the comic book stores, which
Yeah.
I did pick up. Deadpool is on that team, so he is still inserted into very serious books as the comic relief. So he still exists in the comic relief capacity. However,
Mm.
Ryan Reynolds is such a spotlight actor where it would only diminish I can't see it. Like
I can't
it's
see anybody
possible,
else.
yes. It just reduces like it just doesn't work. Of course could it work with the right creator? Of course it can. But I
Mhm.
I see it's too many you'd be taking the spotlight again away from whatever you're putting it on and squaring it back onto Deadpool because he's such a like the Ed Underground calls himself he's such a main character. You know what I mean? So
He is. Yeah, at
yeah,
this point, he
yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yes,
So
absolutely.
much so that it's big news. Everyone's watching this damn movie. You know what I mean? That's so much so he's like a big deal now for Disney. Go
Yeah,
I
figure.
think. Well, I think Deadpool can definitely come in as a. He can definitely come in as a side character, right? If we have a future movie with multiversal breaking properties in
Secret
it,
Wars.
yeah, and Deadpool shows up, I mean, I think that would be amazing, right? And I mean, Deadpool has come about and has interacted with every Marvel character at this point, to some capacity, right? Even from Deadpool
Interacted with
killed.
them, with its own writer,
Well,
with its own creator.
right. He
Yeah.
actually at one point in Marvel when Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, he breaks through a dimension where he fight or he goes against the creators. As they're writing him, they're writing his story. He's literally talking they're really literally writing and drawing him and he's like, I'm coming for you guys next. I'm gonna kill you guys. So I mean, he's gone to every wall he's broken it. So I mean, I would love to see him in future movies as
Secret
a
Wars.
gag or as a future Avenger cameo. So I think that would be cool. I just think for solo movies, yeah, I think we're at critical mass for Ryan Reynolds. And it's not even I because I hate Ryan Reynolds. I think that if you sometimes a lot of movies, right? They always want to put like one more, let's make a little bit more money. Let's,
Mm.
we got maybe one more thing we can write a story about, and then they kind of ruin it. Like with Logan, right? Logan was supposed to be Hugh Jackman's bow out of Wolverine. You finally got a rated R Wolverine. He dies, and everybody was like, "Okay, this is it," which was great on the Fox side,
Yeah.
or that technically,
It's
I think
one of
that's
my
Sony, but it's
that
done
has
on the
to be
Fox
one of
side,
my top favorite like comic book movies of all time.
right? And then granted, we
Logan.
know that that's not
It's
the
such a
that's not the
damn good
true
movie.
that's not the true Old Man Logan, but the adaptation in of itself
Mm.
was good. So with
Exactly. Saw Old Man Logan like 5 seconds of him in Deadpool. Also, that was pretty
Yeah, that
awesome.
was pretty
Yeah, we
funny.
did. Yeah, we
Where
did
he
see
like
him.
pulled up the little hat. Yeah.
The actual
Yeah.
Old Man Logan. Yeah.
So now we have with this, I hope with Deadpool, this is the final one. This is a great way to go out and to move on to other IPs. I think, like I said, I think the one thing that Deadpool has done is really solidified now mutants being the word mutant being used a lot more freely instead of just as a little cameo here and there actually being showcased that all these Blade being part of the multiverse, which hadn't been really solidified in the past outside of the Eternals with Black Knight. Um, we really didn't see a lot of these cameos being solidified or these characters being solidified within the multiverse. Now that we have it seen in the multiverse, even as a gag, to an extent, we now know everything's interconnected with the TVA. So I think this is a good thing. One coming from Loki with the multiversal, we still have the Loki, the He Who Remains Loki. We have a lot of the multiversal worlds being acknowledged. I think this is a good thing for the multiverse in general. Now, I do want to ask a question though about that. Is that is the multiverse at a point where it's getting a little too big? Where I don't know necessarily a movie where we get Deadpool with Blade with all these other characters in a much larger scale outside of what Deadpool was on a much larger scale. Is the multiverse coming to a point where it's just becoming gimmicky, right?
Are you talking
I think
about
they.
as are you talking about as from an audience perspective? Or are
From an
you
audience
talking about
perspective.
so
Audience,
we are
Mm,
still in we're in the latter half of the multiverse saga of so we're not done until Secret Wars is
Oh
done
lord.
sure.
of
mhm.
this
But I
whole
think they made
multiverse.
fun of it in Deadpool too. They were like, "Hey, this is kind of getting out of hand." The whole multiverse thing.
But
Like
yeah, I
they
know.
called it out too in
Yeah,
the movie.
yeah, they said that Wizard of Oz did it better. It's like
Yeah.
even the gays knew it. That was
Wow.
Yeah.
that was the best version of multiversal storytelling.
Mhm.
Which I agree. Um, oh, I won't say necessarily agree, but this is it does seem with the lack of direction of the MCU in the last few years, it does seem relatively gimmicky in the sense that it doesn't it really is not doesn't serve a purpose outside of just telling these crazy stories that we normally wouldn't see like the what if type
It's
of
it's
universe.
lazy. It's lazy. All they're doing is basically relying on people's like fond memories
Nostalgia,
of all these
yeah.
characters and
Really?
nostalgia to make things.
Okay. Well,
Really?
I'm gonna I think we are
We're
naturally
doomed?
we're bridging segueing into a next topic, but because I
Hmm.
think this is exactly why we're talking about it this way. Um, and I think there's a lot we're gonna have to talk about in a second. But real quick before I guess we jump off of Deadpool here. Um,
Blurs.
what did you guys? Well, before you get to the blur,
Uh,
there's I think what was your take on Cassandra Nova? Because she was a really good comic book character that I kind of feel like she would have been killer in the X-Men universe because she's a
Yes.
very interesting character. They made her and the actor who portrayed her really menacing, really interesting.
Mhm.
yeah.
And I'm kind of sad that this is the
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 This
only
best
is the
thing
only
time
way
we'll
you're
probably
gonna
see
get
her.
her.
the only time we're
Disney
gonna
is
get
not
her.
about to do like a rated R villain that does that kind of shit. They're
Yeah, and I'm kind
gonna
of
if they do X-Men, they're gonna do Magneto. They're gonna do Magneto. They're gonna
well,
do the
yeah.
safe choices.
Well, I
You know.
mean, they could go in many different directions, but like when X-Men '97 was on, um,
Yeah, but that's
the
animated. That's different.
yeah, but she was the villain that everyone was expecting to be behind the attack in Genosha because
Mhm.
that's really what she does in the comic books.
Yep.
So we could still see her pop up in the X-Men '97 universe, which is would be spectacular to see her there. But
I
I thought
I thought
she
she was
was
a great villain,
yeah
and I think they did a perfect display of showing her power off the get go, where she strips the skin off of what's his name?
Human Torch.
The
Johnny.
Human Torch.
Yeah.
I was not
I
expecting
wasn't
that
either.
level of violence that quick. Oh, fuck, you see just the organs
Yeah.
spilling.
Like
Like
some
Jesus, that's
Mortal
very
Kombat
fucking
stuff right there.
powerful. She just
Yeah. I
fucking
mean, he was still
skinned him.
blinking and like
Yeah, that's what
emoting
Yeah.
in his face.
Force shit.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
He was.
Probably trying to flame on or something.
yeah.
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 Uh,
Yeah.
But no,
But
yeah,
I thought
yeah, it was
I
very
loved her as well.
interesting.
Mm.
It was cool too because remember when they were trying to like reason with her and they're like, "Why are you doing this?" She's like, "I wish I knew." You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's not that she's specifically villainous, whatever. She just can't help it. That's just who she is.
Yeah. She has
Yeah.
some psychological issues.
I like her. I
clearly.
thought she posed a great thread.
Yeah. There's a multiverse I would like to
And it was,
see her.
you know what? That
be.
was a cool effect that I hadn't seen before of how like she digs into people literally, and like
Yeah.
basically
Into
she
their
goes
brains.
into
Yeah.
your body and
Yeah.
like can like pull you and do all this crazy shit. It's fucking. It was cool.
It
was
was
neat.
a cool effect where you could tell she's touching someone's brain, like
Yeah.
in how she did it. So I wonder how, like, I mean, if it was just her waving her hand around, or they had some kind of tool for her to do that. But I thought she was like a underrated part of this film. Like, because I know Deadpool gets a lot of focus on this, but she was real cool.
I thought I forgot her name that played I forgot the character's name too, who played Charles's twin sister.
Sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent villain. I also feel like they kind of dumbed her down in a way. What?
Ed,
Are you listening?
Did you check out for the last 10 minutes?
Why did you say that?
Because that's all we were talking about. You're bringing it up like you're bringing it up brand new.
For the first time,
First
yeah.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I forget her name, but
Yeah.
again, that's who we
Ed
were just
doesn't
talking
listen
about.
unless he's
Cassandra?
speaking. That's
Yeah,
all.
Okay.
I guess.
I'm
Yeah,
speaking.
fucking main
That's
character,
all that
right?
matters.
Yeah,
Main
Main
character
character,
vibes.
exactly.
yeah,
Main
yeah.
character vibes.
Totally.
Anyway,
Ed, yeah.
Charles's sister.
Yeah.
I
Cassandra?
forgot
Cassandra
Nova.
Nova.
Cassandra
I'm
Nova.
trying to
Yeah.
think of the
Jesus
actress
Christ.
name
Emma
that played
Corrin.
her. Who?
Emma Corrin.
Emma Corrin. All right, excellent portrayal of
Wow.
Cassandra.
Mm.
I also
Cool.
feel like they kind of dumbed her down, in the way of like keeping her in the void. Because I could see if she was in the real world, she would be a major threat. I honestly didn't think Deadpool and Wolverine could actually like kill her on the way, which I think only works in Deadpool. If it worked in anything else, I don't think it will work. But excellent villain, and her portrayal of Cassandra, well played, very believable, very like threatening, very menacing, and almost comedic in a way. She was like playing with people's like heads and pulling people by their head. It was like so like graphic, like yet so funny at the same time. Like I wanted to see more of her as a villain. Unfortunately, we're going to see it in Deadpool, but I thought she was awesome. I wanted to see like some kind of back and forth between her and Charles. I was kind of hoping for that. It didn't happen, but it would have been nice to see too.
Okay.
Well, the thing
So-
is with Cassandra Nova, I mean, she's a super powerful villain.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's died before. I mean, obviously in the comics. I mean, you have to be kind of you have to be kind of you have to think of ingenious ways to kill her, right? Because if you try to attack her straight up, she will absolutely murder you. At one point, I mean, she switched minds with people. She switched minds with Xavier and got her neck broken. Everybody thought she was dead. Like with Emma Frost killing her and blah blah blah. Come to find out, she had just switched minds with Xavier. So, I mean, the thing is, she's a very cunning villain, ultra powerful. I mean, we're talking about Omega plus level mutant. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that they don't take her out of somewhere where she can be contained. Because to write her in, I mean, you're talking if you're gonna have mutants just regularly fighting her, right? This is kind of like the problem with like what they did with like Apocalypse, right? Back in the day. When you have these mutants who are supposed to be all powerful, all knowing, and then nobody's dying at the end because they're fighting this ultra powerful mutant and you're trying to write them into a story, it gets to a point where it becomes unbelievable, right? Like imagine the X-Men fighting Apocalypse in the actual real in a base movie, real world base movie, and nobody's getting murked, right? Somebody has to die. Somebody's gonna get hurt. And that movie, people did die technically, but Apocalypse should be able to just wipe them on the floor. You got Cassandra Nova who can literally suck the skin, take the skin off of the Human Torch and turn into a bag of blood, pretty much, or a amalgamation
Like
of blood and bones. So, I'm kind of happy that they did just keep her in the void, and Wolverine and Deadpool had to kill her in a roundabout way, right? It wasn't like a straight attack where like Wolverine just puts her claws into her face and she dies, because that's not the Cassandra Nova. That would be, I would say, relatively comic book accurate. I
Mhm.
did like the fact that they had a Cassandra Nova in this in the first place, right? It's such an obscure villain to put into a movie. um only way people will actually know who she is because of Xavier, right? Charles Xavier obviously is a staple within the X-Men and the whole Marvel universe. So
Yeah.
to bring her
She has
into it,
she has this iconic look, right?
yeah, exactly.
She has
She
that
has
look,
that.
so
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cassandra Novi in the comics is usually portrayed much older,
mhm.
but yeah, this Cassandra Nova was a great representation of that. I mean, we've seen young Charles, old Charles, so this was a great in between as well. Yeah, I think as a one and done potential villain, a villain that had to pretty much be introduced and die in the same movie, I think they did a decent job, especially with a mutant of this caliber. Um, but I think all in all, like just once again, this is just another reason that with Deadpool, this is it kind of. I feel like this is kind of it for Deadpool. I mean, I don't see, and granted, I'm not a writer, so I mean, there's probably tons of possibilities that they can do, but I feel like this is kind of the end of Deadpool. Like, how much more ridiculous can you get as far as villains is concerned that Deadpool can face and survive, and make sense in the story within a runtime of at most 180 minutes. So I feel like this is it. I feel like this is the end of Deadpool. I think it's been a great run. I just don't think we really have a need for a solo Deadpool movie moving forward. That's
If
just
they
my
do try to do something else with a Deadpool movie, a solo Deadpool movie, it'll be only for money. But knowing how Ryan Reynolds has pushed his character, portrayed his character to the max very well, I don't think if Disney gave him a buttload of money to do a fourth movie, he would say no just because of the love of the character and the love of the fans, and he would know that if he did do a fourth one, regardless of how much money he was handed to him, he would know that it would not be right to do it for the fans. The only way I can see him doing uh, being in a movie is in Secret Wars, like as a comic relief, part of the team. Maybe not even part of the team, but like making um, popping in once in a while. Let's say there's a big fight happening in Secret Wars, and all of a sudden you see Deadpool take the camera and says something crazy like, "All right, guys, this is the main fight. Get your popcorn ready." Then turns the camera back to the main fight or something like that. Or people are having a big conversation, and you see Deadpool in the background dancing or something like that. That's the only way I can see Deadpool in a future movie. Something to that degree. But a solo, no.
well, I disagree with almost everything you said just now.
Listen up,
And that
Disney.
is why you fail.
I hope you're taking notes, Disney.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
that's
think
good.
Oh,
That's a
I
good
have
point.
I totally
never
disagree.
heard
I
of
totally
a
disagree.
more
Right.
exciting scene than Deadpool grabbing the screen and
The
saying,
camera man.
"Everyone, get ready,"
Yeah, get ready.
and
As the
then
comic
moves the
Yeah,
relief. Think
camera.
about it.
but yeah, I
That's the
just
only
Oh
way.
wow, yeah, no, I know. Wow, yeah, dude, wow,
but I just disagree
wow,
with what you're saying, Ed. I don't think that Ryan. I
wow.
do think
And that's why you
Ryan
fail.
Reynolds. I think he would make a fourth one. I think he'll make a
Who
fourth
did
one
that?
any time. We said, and this is going to go in transition to our next topic. But before we get into that, about
Of course.
money and the money that Disney can throw at you to bring back a character that is seemingly dead, or an actor that should be seemingly dead in the universe. Let's get into some blurries. Unless anybody else anything else they want to discuss on this.
nope, nope. Nope. Let's
No.
move
Okay.
on.
All right. So let's go ahead and let's get into our blurries. So, first, I guess, Bandito as the least watched,
The least excited.
the least excited and the
Yeah.
least knowledgeable on all of this. What do you think? What do you think the Deadpool and Wolverine deserve as far as blurs are
Mm,
concerned?
man, I don't know. It's rough. I mean, not rough. I guess my gut instinct at first, I'm like, maybe like a 7, just because. But I'm like, is that too mean? Because I'm trying to say like
No.
it's still like it
No,
was
That's
go
not
with your
mean.
not
gut
average, right?
instinct.
Yeah. Go with your gut.
Your
You
gut
know,
is the
yeah.
one to go with.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I felt like the action was really good, but I don't think there was anything in there that would compelling me to be more of a Marvel fan. You know,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
definitely it doesn't turn me off from it. You know, I enjoyed my time.
So 7, solid.
Light 7.
7. Okay,
Seven.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, Green Turner, what you think?
Having said everything I said, and I would say a 9. I really, really like this movie.
Oh, that's high praises from Green Tuna.
High
Even though
praise.
you do have
Yeah.
you do have a weird, sometimes the how you look at movies is definitely different than other people, I would say. But you like what you like,
Yeah.
and I had to give you credit for that. So a 9, that's some high praises for sure. Ed Underground, what do you think?
We'll have to say the opposite of what Dark Side said earlier. For me, this was a breath of fresh air. Fresh air.
Hell, it's drunk already.
Yeah,
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
some 3-letter words they can get you.
Yeah.
Tongue
This is a
twisters.
breath. This is a breath of fresh air, and I haven't seen a good Marvel movie since uh, that Spider-Man movie. What's it called?
Not important. But
No way
yeah,
home.
we know
Way
what
Home.
you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I would have to give this, and this could be due to the Blade cameo scene too, but it gave me everything I wanted and everything I didn't know I wanted. I would say a 9 out of 10.
Nine
Hell
out of
yeah, the
10.
patron
That's
saint of the Blurred podcast.
9,
9. That is a very solid score.
9.
I'll go next, and then I guess for myself, love this movie. This was honestly 8. I'll say 8.5. Solid all around. This is a great ending to the Deadpool trilogy. Don't necessarily want to see more, just because I think it would kind of tarnish the legacy that has been Deadpool all the way from Fox till now. But yeah, 8.5. Very solid movie. Um, I think that if especially if you have if you've been watching it, like old men like us have been watching the original X-Men till now and following the entire filmography of Marvel up to this point, I think a great um this is a great film to watch because it gives you everything that you want, especially if you share the sentiments that many Marvel fans have from Blade, Elektra, hearing about Channing Tatum, jeez,
Let us
Channing
go
Tatum,
Channing and
now.
Tatum.
yeah,
Let us
Channing
go
Tatum,
Ed, don't be disrespectful, please.
and you literally you got tripped up on a 3-letter word. We're
Let
not the
us go
same.
now.
So, but yeah, no, this is a great movie. So 8.5. Dark Side,
Okay.
all you, man.
All right. I'll give it an 8.
All right. All right.
An
All right.
8?
Yeah, an 8.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Cool.
All right. So talking about so earlier I had brought up the fact that um Marvel, I disagree with what Ed's statement was earlier that if they gave Ryan Reynolds money that he would not make a fourth one. Totally disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because in news recently, huge
Oh,
Comic-Con news,
two different people.
we seen a person come back who pretty much has spoken out and said they did not want to come back to the MCU, only on very certain circumstances, but did not want to come back to the
Mhm.
MCU. A lot of actors saying they didn't want to come back to the MCU, and lo and behold, we have people showing cameos now, and then on top of that, now we got somebody acting in a totally different role than than the original MCU counterpart that they played.
Hmm.
Darkseid, I know you were really excited about talking about this. Do you want to spoil who is returning back to the MCU after their apparent death?
That's right. Terrence Howard is back
Yes,
as
baby,
Whoa,
The
let's
man
do it.
finally,
edition himself.
finally,
Yeah,
the Terrence
terrorology,
Howard
baby,
Terrorology.
terrorology.
yeah. But
Believe it.
does
Terrorology.
one
Believe it.
plus one equal two? It doesn't really.
Doesn't
You know,
matter.
one
Doesn't
times
Doesn't
really.
Does
matter.
one. One times one is
no,
equals two.
he's his quote from Iron Man 1 where he was like
Oh,
one day, baby, one day.
What's
One day.
happening?
The
That's
day
that
has
day.
come. The day has come. No, it's of course the biggest news out of Comic Con is RDJ, the
yeah.
man who created the MCU, the man who gave it life,
Hmm.
and the
Blade.
the anchor character of the 616 universe who died.
Yeah.
As they reference in Deadpool, like that universe is slowly dying, which makes a lot of sense if he was our anchor character.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is returning as Victor Von Doom. Like so,
Is he?
um, yes, he is. He's returning as Doctor Doom. And it
As
was a
Victor
great
Von Doom?
is Doctor Doom. Doctor
Yes.
Doom.
Yes. That's what he just
Yes,
said.
You
yes,
said Victor
yes.
Von Doom.
What are you saying?
So there's been a rumor going around that yes,
Mm.
he's coming here as Doctor Doom.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but not as Victor. There is a rumor going around that he is actually going to be Tony Stark, who in a different universe is instead of becoming Iron Man, he becomes Doom.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's what I got out of that when they announced him was the idea that Victor Von Doom is a variant of Tony Stark, and Tony Stark is a variant of Victor Von Doom. They both have similar trajectories in life. They're both very brilliant, and they just gone in different directions. And I could see another Marvel universe where Tony didn't exist and Doom did exist, and maybe that's the Fantastic Four universe that we will see. Which that was the news that right before this announcement. Um, my take on it, and I know a lot of people are going like, "Well, how can you do this? And how can this make?" My take is pretty simple. My reaction was like, "Oh, okay, he's a variant of Tony Stark. It makes a lot of sense to me." But I'll let you guys talk about it. I have certain thoughts and feelings about whether or not this should, this is the right move, I guess is the question for all of you that everyone is asking. Is this the right thing to do? And I will tell you, like the internet itself is highly divided on this.
Oh, I can
So
see why. I'm
yeah.
also so when I first saw this,
Mhm.
for I will say for a good 5 seconds, I was like, "No way, this is freaking awesome! He's back, but as Doom." And then as the hype started to go down after those 5 seconds, my brain hit and like, "Oh, wait a minute, this seems like a cop out in a way, almost like a." I have mixed feelings about this. I like it and I don't like it. I like it because they're bringing back Tony in a way, and you know it's going to be good. And the brothers are coming back. The Russo brothers are coming back, so you know it's going to
Mhm.
be good. You know it's going to be good. The thing I don't like though is I feel like that they're kind of using nostalgia in a way, and also almost like copping out, like we can't do anything new. There's other actors I think that can play Doctor
Mhm.
maybe even better than Junior, maybe. Um, it's a mixed bag, but I do, like I said, I like it and I don't like it. I like it that I believe that they recognize, at least the Russo brothers recognize, that Marvel has gone in a bad direction, so they're trying to correct it by. They're trying to correct it. I love that, but I don't like that they're trying to correct it with someone that has been a major
So they're playing
Person.
they're playing it safe, right? That's the thing we're talking about. They're playing it safe with a familiar, highly likable, highly
Yeah,
loved
money.
person. Yeah, I mean they spent a lot of money.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how
guaranteed.
much money they're giving him, but there's more than he
Well,
was
someone that you know
given.
that's gonna put asses in seats.
Yeah,
It definitely will. It definitely will. For the casuals
yeah,
and the hardcore fans, it will.
yeah. But is this the so? Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think that's at the heart of everyone's concern here, because they set out to do something different with Kang, right? They set out to do something, establish a new voice and a new villain and a new threat, and that backfired, and fell apart. So this is definitely a safe place for them to land. Now they're hinging a lot on this one man to save them. Literally,
Yeah.
it is on one man to save this entire uh, mega franchise, right? And who is more appropriate to save it than the man who kicked it off, right? So it is a safe bet. I think right till the last movie, even if the next one bombs, or if Doomsday is not as good, he will still pull people into seats, right? He will
Oh
still
yeah.
get people's interest just because he carries all that. I just don't want him to tarnish his goodwill and his legacy by not sticking the landing. You're saying the elements are all here. The Russos are here. What they're building towards is here. RDJ himself. So like all the elements are there for them to successfully pull it off. I think the order's too much. I don't know if anyone can pull it off. But the idea of the Marvel MCU universe existing was insane at one point. So it exists. So who knows? But yeah, I think they're aiming pretty high.
Well, I have two actors in my mind that I don't know if it'll be you guys will like the two actors I'm thinking of, but I
Keanu
think
Reeves.
of two actors.
Keanu Reeves.
Yes, of course. Okay,
Yeah.
three actors. Yes.
Oh, okay.
No.
MCU.
Killian Murphy maybe,
Killian.
and
Really?
the guy who
Yep.
plays Scarecrow in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah. Cillian
Mm.
Murphy. Yeah.
Him and I forgot his name, but
Oppenheimer.
yes.
Hmm.
But I forgot the other guy's name, but he plays opposite of Mandalorian. Um,
Opposite of Mando.
he's the main villain in the Mandalorian.
Oh, Gus Fring from Breaking. I forget his name.
I forget his name.
Yeah.
Yes,
He has the
Gus Fring, right?
Espinola.
Is there a talking about?
Espinola or something like
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
those two. I don't know if he'll be the same level as Junior, but I would have loved to see maybe those two step it up and be in that role.
I don't think I've ever heard the second
He's
as an
already
option. That's interesting.
he's already in
That's
Brave
an
New
interesting.
Worlds, so
Yeah. Yeah. He's
yeah,
literally
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the new one.
yeah,
but
so
I
he's
do.
not gonna do that.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
do have to agree what you're saying.
Killian Murphy's an interesting choice. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
especially if you look at Doctor Doom's his personality. Like his personality is
Yes.
very important to uh the actor who portrays him, right? So he's incredibly egotistical and he's very vocal. I was reading Secret War, the original Secret War series, and he's such an asshole in that series to every other character. Like he's with the villains, he's an asshole to the villains, and he leaves and says, "Fuck these guys, I'm too smart for you. I'm gonna go hang out with Reed Richards just to shoot the shit." He goes there, and then Captain America insults him, and he starts a fight over there, and he says he just fucking fights everyone. No one is his equal, and he is braggadocious. He's like, so in a way, he is Tony Stark. You know what I mean? So he's
Yeah.
done that. So Robert Downey Jr. is uh his charisma fits in with the performance, right? Like he can't obviously I don't want him to play Tony with an accent, right? I don't want him to play Tony with an Eastern European accent, but I do want that charisma on display. And I mean, you guys, can you think of any other actor who would have that charisma? Like, wears it like that?
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito's a stunning
Yes.
choice.
Twins.
Yeah.
I want opposite of him, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it would just be a twins reunion.
Oh,
Uh,
could you imagine
greatest
Arnold,
cameo.
Arnold as Doctor Doom with all the puns?
Yeah,
Arnie would
that
be
would be it.
amazing as Doctor.
He would
There's a '90s movie we did not get to see in some
with
multiverse,
Arnie.
but
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
No, I mean, obviously the internet is a buzz because everybody thinks this is infamous Iron Man. Obviously with RDJ, it makes sense with the variants, with Victor Von Doom. Well, with Tony Stark being said to be Victor Von Doom, he's already played Iron Man, so as a variant, it does make sense that infamous Iron Man would be the next level for the MCU and him to be a bad guy. Um,
I don't think they'll do the Iron Man though. Like
I don't think it's I don't think it's gonna be a
yeah.
1-to-1. And I think this is the problem with a lot of Marvel fans in general, right? Marvel fans in general don't read the comics. Newer fans or fans of the MCU, I would say, don't necessarily read the comics. And the ones that Google it or Wiki it are more or less just regurgitating what they saw over a 2-minute read. They don't understand the nuance of the character. They don't understand the concept that Marvel, just because it might be infamous Iron Man, doesn't mean it has to be a one of one, right? That the a lot of the MCU as a whole is about concepts, right? The fact that if his infamous Iron Man exists, where we get Victor Von Doom, who is a variant of Tony Stark, and when Tony Stark goes and gets into a coma and so forth, and is unable to operate as Iron Man, Victor Von Doom pretty much picks up the mantle of Iron Man. That concept in of itself doesn't mean it has to be one for one in the MCU. It could be a variant idea. See what I did there? A variant concept in of itself.
Mm,
So
mm.
I do like the fact that Victor Von Doom is there. That RDJ can play as a Victor Von Doom. I do like that idea. I do like the idea that it could be a variant, sort of character because we kind of missed that in um, Doctor Strange, right? Where everybody thought that we were gonna get either RDJ back as Iron Man or Tom Cruise. We got neither. We got neither,
Right.
right? So we
Yeah.
kind of miss on the whole Iron Man variant situation. So now that we got a true Iron Man possible variant, I think this is awesome because now we're getting the as you said the I would say the father of the MCU. Not discrediting Blade because Blade definitely saved Marvel as Lois, but RDJ is going to be known as the father of the MCU. That's just point blank. That's just a fact. So I think this is a cool idea. I think it's a cool concept. What I was saying earlier about how I disagree with Ed on this is that with RDJ, right, we were all thinking that this was over for him, right? After he died in Endgame, everybody's like, "That's it." All of the Avengers were pretty much saying, except for what's his name, dude playing Bruce, the Hulk, um, who
Does
was
anyone
like
really care about the
Mark,
Hulk though?
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark
Yeah,
Ruffalo. Yeah,
Ruffalo.
Mark
Who,
Ruffalo.
who
He
cares
was
about
like,
Ruffalo though?
but
But
Ruffalo was like, I'll play, continue to play Hulk. Yeah, because bitch, you didn't
of
play the
course he
Hulk.
would.
You didn't play the Hulk most of the time, you know.
Of course,
New
But
no
banner.
one cares about
Maybe
Ruffalo.
yeah,
he
no
just
one.
left the sound studio.
Yeah, right. He's like he really didn't do shit. Um, but
I'd
in
rather
all in
see
all,
a Black Widow than Ruffalo.
yeah. But the thing is
No, you
that
guys are. Yeah, I'm dying to see a Hulk movie.
I want to see an actual Hulk movie, but we'll see. That's something that could possibly.
There's some good Hulk stories they could
Well,
tell.
there's something in the works. But my point is that at the end of the day, all these actors before were saying they will never come back. They're completely done. Now, I believe that like with Scarlett Johansson, I think she's absolutely done with the MCU. But at the same time, if you pay these people enough money, which is being touted out there that RDJ is getting paid somewhere upwards of 200 million for I believe 3 or 4 films in the MCU now, which is huge money. I mean, Marvel can and Disney can throw the money out there. If they think RDJ can um, pull in people, puts asses in seats with the Russo brothers, I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. And I just like, this is why I was saying before, but like with Deadpool, um, I think a lot of these people will come back because this Marvel money is kind of long, right? Disney money is kind of long. So, I mean, think about it. RDJ, if he gets a deal for 4 films or 3 films, whatever, for $200 million, as is being, allegedly reported, that's a huge chunk of change, for these type of films.
I
So,
can't I can't think of a reality where you have a Secret War movie and Captain America's not in it. He's essential in that story
yes,
to
he
be in
is.
it for certain dynamics to happen.
What
So
Captain America are you talking about, though?
Captain America,
Steve
and so
Rogers or
Steve Rogers,
Falcon?
Captain America, is it has to be in it. So I mean, of course, that is an opportunity for like Creamcast is saying for them to back a dump truck of money into certain people's front yards, or it's also an opportunity for them to recast and pivot into new directions, right? So if they want like Steve Rogers to continue after, this is the way to do it. Tony Stark, like they could, like I said, Tony Stark can be played by somebody else. It is a very difficult task, and I pity the fool who has to do that.
Tom Cruise.
But yeah, whoever that would be. But Secret Wars would be a place where you could relaunch the MC. I really think they're really literally taking a page out of the comic book universe because the MCU has become as convoluted as the comic book has, and the Secret Wars will reboot the entire universe back to the simpler Cap, Iron
Yeah,
Man, Thor universe. Like
I
no
think it
more
will.
like yeah. So I think that's the whole point of Secret War, and where you will get the Avengers and X-Men into a more streamlined universe. So yeah, I think it's definitely a possibility that more of these actors will return because Secret Wars should be star-studded. Is
Yeah,
what I'm expecting.
this is what I was saying, like with the Deadpool, right? You're gonna get to a
Yeah,
point where you're going to have so many characters and
yeah,
in one movie or in a short span of movies that is going to
yeah.
be, yeah, absolutely stars it. It's going to be, Infinity War is going to be Endgame all over again.
Hmm,
You
But
hmm.
you
know,
not hear what I'm saying too. I'm saying that I don't think he'll do a fourth movie. Cameos, yes, or in another movie that's not his, yes,
no, I
but
heard
a
you.
fourth solo
No,
movie.
no,
Yeah,
no,
we
I heard
yeah
you,
we
and I literally
And
said
the
I don't.
difference between, but what I'm saying with RDJ, RDJ said he wouldn't come back unless the Russos came back. The Russos are
hmm,
back. He's back. Same thing like with Christian Bale. Christian Bale says he would not play another Batman unless Nolan
hmm,
did the Batman.
hmm.
Regardless how many money he's been thrown at, he won't do another Batman unless Nolan's behind it. Same thing with RDJ. I don't think if another actor, oh, not actor, another writer and director did Doomsday and Secret Wars, I don't think he'll come back, regardless of how much money he was thrown at him. Now, with Ryan
I
Reynolds
you
too,
you 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 you're willing to. So the whole point here is they're saying that that amount of money, you're saying that if the Russos weren't involved and they still brought that amount of money, he wouldn't have come back. That's what you're
I
saying.
don't think he would.
You have that
I don't
much
think he
faith
would.
in RDJ. I
I don't
Yeah,
think
think he
you're in
would.
you're in
Yeah,
a fantasy land, Ed.
yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
Everyone's
you're in a
right.
I don't
fantasy.
think he
yeah, like
would.
you're clarifying yourself. Like I respect that you're clarifying yourself, but you have not dissuaded anything that I said. I literally think that if they gave money to Ryan Reynolds and they said, "Hey, we need another Deadpool movie. We're gonna give you $100 million," he's gonna be like, yeah, get suited and booted. I don't. I think you have a lot more faith in the people in the comic book realm.
No,
You're
no.
talking
I
about
mean,
$100 million
Well,
dollars.
somebody else, then no.
literally Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman. He
Yeah,
Yes.
went
Hugh
out.
Jackman
He went
only
out.
came
Look,
back because Ryan Reynolds, who was
right.
his
Sure.
probably
There'll
best friend of
always
all time.
there'll always be a something that'll bring him
Yeah,
back.
just
But
because,
the
yeah, just
reality, and
the
it's the
money.
do re mi as you say. It's
Yeah.
the do re mi song.
Just because there's an
Uh,
extra clause that brought him back, just because Ryan Reynolds asked him, doesn't mean that he still didn't come back. The end result is he came back, and he got paid very well for coming back. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if Russo brothers asked RDJ. It doesn't matter if Hugh Jackman said, "Hey, I want you to come back as Deadpool so I can play Wolverine." It doesn't matter. Like the money is they're not doing this shit. This is not a charity, so they're making good money while doing so. So
Yeah.
oh
I
yeah.
think they will come back no matter what. I don't think it has anything like if you said, "Hey, Ryan Reynolds, I'll give you 20 million. I need you to make a fourth Deadpool movie that's better than the third one." You're probably have to be like, "Yeah, you know what? That's a little low. Let's go into negotiations." And then
Yeah,
that
you're
200,
Disney. I know you can afford
Yeah.
more.
yeah, I need bigger budgets. I need you to open up all the franchises I can talk to, and then I'll come back. Yeah, that's the reality of it.
All right. Do you guys? I don't think we've heard from Bandito Mac and Great Tuner here. Do you uh, do you guys think this is the right thing to do? Do you think this is the correct move to save the
No.
MCU? Okay.
Oh, to
RDJ
save
is.
it.
Well, is
It's
it the
definitely
correct
Is this the
move?
right?
saving it.
Cool, cool.
No, just say is it the right move for the MCU?
Yeah, is it the right move?
Economically speaking, probably.
Economically, we can all agree it is the
Yeah,
right thing to
it is
do.
the
But
right thing.
Yeah.
is it creatively the right thing to do? This is the
No.
question. No, right?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
You
What about
would
you?
have preferred an original, like a new actor to take on the role?
Yeah, just someone new. I mean, it's the third time they're taking a shot at Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe this is the way
Wait,
to
wait,
do it
wait.
with
No,
a
don't say that.
fucking
Don't say that. It's not
a
Disney's third
refurbished
time.
actor. I don't know.
It's not Disney's third time.
It's not Disney third time, but it's the third cinematic entrance for Mr. Doom.
Mr. Dooms, yeah.
Yeah,
He's had
he got the
two
Dooms.
strikes. Two strikes.
What about you? What about you, Bandita? What do you think?
I mean, I don't. I mean, I sort of don't care, just because I'm vaguely familiar with Doctor Doom, so I love
The
the idea of
fuck?
him.
Yeah,
What?
yo,
I
you're
mean,
so
listen,
cool.
listen,
Look how cool he
I
is.
know. Listen, I know Doctor Doom, right? Master tactician, right?
How do I boot
Polymath,
something
right?
one from this
I'm familiar
podcast?
with a couple of his stories, so I get it. So I don't see RDJ. I don't see like the wisecracking Tony Stark as, in my mind, what I thought of Doctor Doom. I would see more like when you were talking about who could act as him. I'm like maybe like the character Gus or Giancarlo, like when he was Gus, like that type of menacing character. Because Doctor Doom, I thought he wasn't necessarily. He's not cartoonishly evil, right? He just cares about his kingdom, like his people, right?
He verges on cartoonishly evil. He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
He,
Is he? Okay. I
yeah.
just from stories that I had heard, he just seemed more not thoughtful, but he like
he's-
Batman, right? Like
he-
like the
Tony Stark. Yeah,
Brooding.
what's his name? Just Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. said it on stage when they announced. He said, "I like complicated characters." Doctor Doom is a very
It's very
complicated.
complicated.
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
And there's shades of like he's been a good guy, he's been a bad guy, he's been an asshole, he's been a loving father, he's been a dictator, he's been a murderer,
Mhm.
he's been a lot. He's a
A
very
conqueror.
complex character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's destroyed the universe. He's
Yeah.
he's done
So,
everything.
I just remember reading a story. I'd seen a story with him where he like had an altercation. He fought Venom. Yeah, like this version of Eddie Brock, and he had said to him like, "I appreciate a king who earns his title by his sweat versus like just brutality." And like that stuck out to me as like, oh damn, I like Doctor Doom. I like a mind that thinks like that, where he's like, it seemed like he just wasn't out to be a bad guy, but he's like, I'll respect you as long as if you can show that you can do the work, like you are not afraid of putting in the effort to be the best, because like he feels like he's the best, right? He thinks he's such a
He
badass.
feels like he's the best. If he's in a
Yeah.
room full of like literally Marvel heroes, he thinks only
He is the
Thor is
best.
his equal because Thor's a
Yeah.
god. So
Yeah.
Right.
No
Yeah.
one is. Yeah, no
But
one's at his level.
He's proved it
Mhm.
though that he is. So
I
no,
was
let's
gonna
be let's
say he
Yeah.
can back up his shit talk.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
can
he backs up his shit
Yeah.
talking for sure.
Yeah, it's not like he's just
Mhm.
talking nonsense. He can actually
Right.
back up what he says.
Yeah, this is the
Right,
guy
so
who
Yeah.
literally
I like the character.
This is the guy that literally obliterate Thanos with one hand, and this is where other people were struggling, went through a whole series, several movies trying to fight this one guy, and he was able to kill him, like he was nothing,
Yeah.
and can handle all the Infinity Stones like it's as a cakewalk.
Right, but
So
it's like,
Yeah.
is the MCU gonna handle him like that? Do I expect that? So unless it's like a great story like that, if they could do it the right way, I don't know if they can pull it off. So we'd have to wait and see.
Well, I
It's
mean,
like,
it just all everything we're talking about right now just adds to
mhm,
the weight of this performance. Whoever is going to be Doctor Doom, it has to be a show-stopping greatest actor of all time. Like, you know what I mean? Like they said when
Tom
they
Cruise.
announced, yeah. So,
maybe someone
maybe,
new, like get someone. So I had never heard of Chris Evans before. I wasn't hip to who he was before he
hmm
became Captain America. So if they
hmm
can get someone interesting, I would love to
hmm
see a fresh face like him.
Yeah, I'll
That'd be
be
dope.
honest. He's cast as some other person, but yeah, it would have been
Mhm.
an interesting choice to have Gus Fring as Doctor Doom. That would have been because he can carry himself that way. We've seen it in the voice and things like that.
Mhm.
That would have been interesting. Obviously, it's happened, but that would have been the kind of casting that would have interested me, piqued my interest. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
Matt
think
Nicholson.
he's too overexposed. Mad Mikkelsen, that
Oh,
would be,
Matt
Yeah,
Mikkelsen would
but
be,
again, he's too
yeah,
overexposed now. Like
yeah.
10 years ago, I would have been right there with all these. They just
Who's
been
the like? Who's like low key right now?
I don't know. I've
uh
been thinking about that, and I don't
you
know
know
who
the
would
guy
be good.
who plays the Kingsman, the what's his name? The guy that plays the Kingsman. Um,
Anthony
Taron
Taggart or
Taron
something.
The British
Egerton
guy?
or whatever.
Taron Egerton. I think he
Yeah.
would, as a young Victor Von Doom, he has the swagger to be arrogant. He has he's I mean he's not a big actor. Like he's
Mhm.
big, right? But he's not that big. All the actors that started for Marvel, I mean, RDJ, I mean, obviously RDJ was already RDJ, but RDJ wasn't a household name outside of I get in fucking trouble all the time.
No, they got him at
Um,
they
If
got him when he
him
anything,
was
as
that
in
saved
Lois.
his
come up.
career. This saved his
Yeah, when he
career.
was
Yeah, yeah,
rebounding.
yes, yeah. They got him at his lowest. Same
Yeah.
thing with Scarlett Johansson. She wasn't really big at the time. Chris Evans, I mean, he's played in several movies, but he wasn't big. So
Dude, they
yeah.
should just get Tiger King.
All
Nothing
right.
like a redemption
Oh
story.
God.
Okay, are we just saying dumb ideas right now? Okay, sure. Let's get RuPaul
Wow.
next. Yeah, let's get RuPaul.
Aw.
This is,
Yeah. I was thinking, well, but you guys like Bill
I'm
Skarsgård?
Dr. Doom
Bill
and fuck
Skarsgård.
Carol
That
Baskins.
would
Yeah,
be an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Interesting
Bill
choice.
He's got a
Skarsgård would
lot
be
of complexity.
Nah,
Yeah.
not Skarsgård. Again,
Cillian
He's a
Murphy.
nah,
he's a very
I've
good
seen him
actor.
in too many
Cillian
things.
Murphy. Yeah, Cillian
He's
Murphy
a
would
great
be
actor. I'm not denying that. I've just seen him in too many things.
Cillian
Who,
Murphy would be a
Skarsgård?
little too much.
Yeah, no, I think we're trying to look for someone that we wouldn't like recognize right away.
Yeah,
Someone
somebody
would
that's
be
already
like,
established.
oh yeah,
We could like I think Marvel cast correctly when they cast Kang. We just didn't see it because he's not an actor that we were familiar with. So I think the same you'd have to go the same path with Doctor Doom if you wanted to do that outside of
Mhm.
like I'm sure there's a great actor we're just not thinking of.
I
So
know
Mhm.
a good
yeah.
actor. The guy that plays he's not super big. I mean, he played Doctor Who, so I guess that's kind of big in the UK. What's his name that
Yeah.
plays
Matt Smith.
Not the
but
guy that's in fucking House of the Dragon.
yes, I
Is that what
think
you're
he
saying?
yes.
Ah,
Matt Smith. Yeah, Matt
Yeah,
Smith.
he could
nah.
be a potential.
No, I
I liked him
no
in
for sure.
I'd rather
Morbid.
have the previous Doctor Who, if that's what you're talking about. That
David
Scottish
Tennant.
guy. I forgot his name. The one with the short hair.
Yeah, Eccleston, something
Yeah,
Is that
Eccleston.
his name? He had more of like a wittiness to the way he spoke.
Sorry guys, wasn't
He
he
was like a
Malekith?
real smart ass.
Wasn't he Malekith, the greatest villain of all time?
yeah,
Maybe
he was Malekith. Yeah,
he's
So,
already
That's
he's already he exited MCU on top. You can't like fuck that.
Maybe I'm
dude.
not thinking of the same person.
He did
Is
go
that the
on
guy
top of
from that was like a werewolf in one of the movies?
Oh, yeah, Mads Mikkelsen was the villain already too.
I don't know about
Mads Nicholson.
the
What was
werewolf.
he a villain in?
He was in Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Doctor Strange.
He
Yeah.
was a villain in
Oh,
Doctor
he
Strange.
was. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
he
think I
can't
Okay.
be
know
mad.
that. Yeah.
All right, so I mean,
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, it's whatever.
I don't know.
The Blurred podcast will begrudgingly accept Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Okay. Real
we act
quick,
like
I know
that's
we're
our
kinda-
money. we act like that's our
Right,
money
yeah.
that we're like, ah,
that will be our money. That will be our money.
that
So
will be,
we are
yeah.
just as
Sure,
invested
yeah.
as fucking Disney.
That's
So,
true.
Right.
real quick, no, we're trying to wrap it up. We want to keep it tight here. The other announcements pertaining to Marvel, they showed some stuff from the new Captain America movie that's going to come out.
Oh, yeah.
And like the big reveal there was adamantium that will be a
Yes.
major part of that, which I thought was real cool. And then Thunderbolts, which there's not much to talk about with Thunderbolts, but Fantastic Four has a subtitle. I don't like. What do you make of this? Fantastic Four: First Steps is the name of the
Okay.
series, which makes it sound like it's like the
It's Baby Boss.
Nick
Baby
Jr.
Boss.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Nick Jr. version.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird title, but you know what? I also thought Spider-Man: Homecoming was a weird title too, and that now is just like I won't argue with it anymore. You know, it's perfect. So maybe it works in that sense. We're just not seeing it.
We're
I
still
don't
waiting
know,
for
man.
fucking.
When
We're
it
still
comes to
waiting.
Fantastic Four, I've been burned so much. I'm like,
We're still waiting for the
What-
damn Spider-Man, the animated one. That's supposed to be his first year in college, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
like
that's coming out this year.
yeah, I mean, Disney got a lot of things. So I mean, we
Hey,
gotta give Disney
this has been a really good year for Disney. It is
so far.
making
Yes.
money. They're making money left and right at this point. So
yeah,
they
yeah.
definitely took their licks, but
Like we just say,
man, are they cashing
Deadpool. For as much as they don't like Deadpool, this is really, giving them a ton of money.
Well, yeah.
Well,
What do you think of a ton of money? You
Deadpool and
think of the Acolyte pulled in a lot of money for them.
I hope so. God damn, I
Oh
hope so.
man, yeah. Well,
Please.
that's called a prestige show. So
That's
those
true.
are,
Yeah.
Call it marquee.
it's a prestige show.
tentpole.
So
Yeah.
those, you're expected.
yeah, that's for
Yeah.
the Emmys. That's for the Emmys.
Yeah,
They're
what's
doing
what's
that.
That's for the Emmys,
what's
exactly.
what's the term they say in Deadpool, like when Wolverine died, he was a something in their universe. I forgot what it was called.
Anchor
Oh,
being.
the
Anchor being,
anchor
yeah.
or
So
whatever.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Acolyte is the
Yeah.
anchor being of Star Wars right now. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. Pretty
it's
much.
keeping it alive. Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the
Uh,
touchstone for the future of Star Wars.
absolutely. So it's the
Mhm.
Nexus
I
event.
You
actually
know, one thing I
we're
appreciate.
joking about it, but it Acolyte has resonated with a new audience of like Star
Yeah,
Wars people.
Yes, it
Who?
has.
yeah.
I'm surprised by.
Me?
The
Um,
future
Yeah,
of
man.
Star Wars.
Don't judge me.
outside of us old heads, apparently it has resonated. So
Yes, the
Yeah,
younger
Who?
crowd
I'm
has liked
surprised
it.
by it. Yeah, the
the
younger crowd
future
does
What,
fan
three?
base.
dig it.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
Yeah.
3 or 4-year-olds?
the
The
future of
the
Star Wars.
future,
Then.
the future
Oh,
of
you
Star
mean the
Future.
Wars.
ones who like what's it called?
Yeah. No,
Romance
don't
novels?
worry. Lego
Sure.
Star Wars and all the other gross misuse of the Star Wars license exist for you if you really want something for babies.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, this was a
Mm.
baby show, but one thing I
Yeah,
do
you got
appreciate
Lego Star
about
Wars for
what
that.
Marvel is doing rather than what Star Wars is not doing, Marvel recognizes that, okay, we're going in the wrong direction. Let's pivot. RDJ. Unlike Star Wars,
They did that with
they
the entire cast of The Force Awakens.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
they brought in Mark Hamill. They
They did
brought
that.
in
Hey, guess
Leia. They
what?
Hamill
brought in
didn't
everyone.
even
What are you
like
talking
what was
about?
going on, and he was in it.
Well,
I
what if
understand.
the RDJ moment, like they did that already and it didn't turn out well. That's why we're concerned
Yeah.
about the RDJ movement here. Is
I
it going to
mean,
repeat that?
it's mixed.
Yeah.
It's mixed.
I
I'm
I don't
sure
say
he's
I don't
gonna
say
do
it's
a
mixed.
phenomenal job. I know he's gonna do a phenomenal job.
Oh,
Phenomenon, whatever.
who's drunk
Phenomena.
now? Who's drunk now?
Phenomenon. I'm sure he's gonna do a great job,
All
and the
right,
Russo brothers
let's
are behind it.
wrap it
So
up because Ed goes on his tangents. Let's wrap it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
let me tell you a
there's not much
story.
else. to cover here. So Ed, yeah, take us out, baby.
Yeah, take us out, buddy.
Who should I portray right here?
Who shall he portray? Which of the two characters
characters.
will he
Yeah.
give us this time?
Well, there are other
What was it,
characters.
130 what episode? 132 episodes.
Oh no!
There are other-
You take us out as
There are other characters,
us
but
out
I
as
can't
Master
portray
Soul.
some of those characters
Somebody
for
fucking flip a
Can you
coin.
take us out
legal
as
reasons.
Jedi
It has two
Master Soul?
characters. It has two
No, there's other
characters.
characters. I just
Himself,
can't portray those
himself,
other
Ed,
characters.
Yeah.
and Joker.
I just can't portray the other characters for legal reasons.
Show off your comic book skills here. Give us your best Victor Von Doom. Take us out.
There we
as
go.
Dr.
Yep.
Doom.
Ooh.
Only
Yeah,
appropriate.
Well,
Wait,
there's
I
only
want
been an
Eastern
animated
European.
one, and it wasn't that good.
We'll give it
What?
to us.
Then
Ed.
that's
Come
fine.
on.
Do
Yeah,
the
let's
animated.
hear it.
Let's hear it, baby.
Hear it. Come on.
the Victor Von Doom.
yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
You sure you weren't watching Bane?
That's so
Oh, that's
talented.
okay. I'll do that.
No, we didn't.
Mr. Wayne.
Oh, wow.
There's two characters.
Bane's taking his shit. He's constipated.
Yeah, this is the worst.
Look at the depth of
Okay,
talent.
take us out. We're wasting too much time on this.
Go
Take
ahead,
us out.
go
Come
ahead,
on,
go
buddy.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, hold on.
Oh, good old faithful.
What a shocker.
That boy ain't right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 133 of the Blrd podcast. As always, you can find us on all major platforms, podcasting platforms, and if you want to see us live and sell propane and propane accessories, you can watch us here
Oh, that's what it is.
on twitch.tv
Yeah,
slash
Team
the
Hero,
Blrd
I didn't know who it
podcast.
was.
I didn't know
I
what
thought
it
you were
was.
doing. I thought you were doing.
Now,
Woody.
bum hair right up there. Oh, wait, I know I can do.
No. We're saying
All right,
bye. We're
guys.
saying bye,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
Blurred
Yep.
later?
All right,
Blur you
yeah,
later,
yeah,
guys.
Blurred.